Hello internet users, and welcome back to Lost Content, the show that somehow exploded and made this channel slightly relevant. Originally, I didn't have any plans to make another one of these for a while, but as was the case with the previous episode, I just so happened to stumble across something interesting to share. This time I'm going to be talking about a special DS game card that actually manages to be more rare and prized than any of the Pokemon event cards I talked about last time. The item in question is this thing here, a preview cart of The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. Now right off the bat, many of you who have never heard of this thing probably have a few dozen questions or so let me try to explain. As most Zelda fans know, Twilight Princess originally released for the Wii and GameCube, having absolutely no in-game connectivity to the DS handheld system. So with that in mind, well, just what is this thing? To be honest, the contents of the game card aren't that special. All it does is show an early trailer of the game. There's no gameplay at all, just a video file shown in a very low quality so that it could be played on the DS. But if that's the case, then what is it about this thing that makes it such a valuable and sought-after collector's item? There are a few different reasons, but the biggest one would have to be because of the low amount that were produced. You see, this special preview item was given away as part of a press kit during E3 2004. The trailer in the game card was said to be the very same one that was shown off to the press during the event. Reportedly, only 500 of them were ever made, and were only distributed during this one occasion. What I find interesting though is that the DS didn't actually release until the end of that year, and the E3 conference took place during mid-May. It would have been at least half a year until some of the people who got one could even use the thing. Not to mention, at the time that this was given out, to many it wouldn't have been considered to be worth hanging on to. It's speculated that many of them would have ended up thrown away. At face value, who could have expected such a thing to end up being sold for so much in the future? Yeah, imagine that. How many games do you know where people are dropping this much to own a low-quality version of its trailer, instead of for the game itself? It's pretty amazing when you think about it. Something I hate though is how a lot of people keep referring to it as a demo. I guess maybe that's not technically incorrect, but hearing it called that gives the expectation that there will be some kind of gameplay as well. Now believe me, if this little card actually had a gameplay demo of Twilight Princess on the DS, you can believe that it would be worth a heck of a lot more than what you see here. As far as I know, this would be the only time that Nintendo would ever distribute a trailer this way, via physical media for their own hardware. This would only serve to make the game card even more unique, and thus much more valuable in the long run. I should also mention that nowadays, Nintendo does make trailers for their console games available for free download on the 3DS eShop. There are also another few things worth noting about this trailer. For one, it seems to be from so early in development that all of Link's voice clips are clearly taken directly from Ocarina of Time. And on the main screen, you can see that the copyright information says 2005. This was because Twilight Princess was originally planned for a 2005 release on the GameCube. However, the game was delayed a full year in order to add more to it, and to port it to the next upcoming console, the Wii. You can also see on the cardboard sleeve the trailer came in that it only mentions the GameCube. These days, it seems that this DS card isn't sold online often, which is unsurprising given the small amount of them that are out there, and the fact that it's more than a decade old at this point. Of course though, because this is the internet, the ROM for the quote-unquote game has long since been uploaded and spread around. But despite this, the asking price for one of the original physical copies remains high, and is only going to keep increasing over time. I always find things like this to be so intriguing. When you get down to it, there isn't anything special about what's on the game card, and unlike the Pokemon DS cards I talked about, there isn't even anything this one can do to affect another game. But rather, it's the novelty of its existence and extremely limited availability that makes Zelda fans and collectors so eager to own one. It certainly would make for one heck of a little trophy that I wouldn't mind having myself, but I don't think I'd be willing to spend that much money on it. And that does it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed, despite how short it was. I can't say I have much experience with buying or selling these kinds of collectibles myself, so if you have any info on something I may have missed, want to point out any mistakes, or just want to inform me of which cartoon character you think I sound like, feel free to say so in the comments below. See y'all later!